Hello, everybody. Adam Parks here with another episode of Receivables Roundtable. Today, I'm clearly not in my normal studio. I'm down here in Campo Grande, Brazil, and I get a chance to talk with a very interesting man who may see all areas of the world in one particular night, Mr. Chris Murphy, who is a co-founder with DebtLink. Chris, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm clearly not in Brazil. I'm in beautiful Raleigh, North Carolina. So envy might be a little bit of my facial expression right there. It looks beautiful where you are.
Well, much appreciated. So, we've had the opportunity to get to know each other a little bit over the past couple of months. But for anybody who hasn't been as lucky as me, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and how you got to the seat that you're in today?
Absolutely. Well, so you can tell by some of my facial, I'm a little bit longer in the tooth and have been in the industry quite a while. I started back early days, probably 25, 30 years ago, in the collection industry on the agency side. Most of my career has been on the agency side. Started out with a couple firms, one a high volume, low balance consumer firm that was later acquired by what was IntelliRisk, is now iCor. I worked for a commercial firm that was same thing happened to them, so I ended up staying on with iCor for a while. Moved over to some of the other larger players, CCA, now EOCCA, the CCS companies, ARM Solutions, and TrueAccord are all firms that I've been involved with, mainly on the sales side. One point I ran the operations collection center up in Dover, New Hampshire. During the same period of time, I broke out and opened my own debt buying company, which is where I met my partner, Chris Runcie. I hired him originally as a consultant to help me launch debt buying divisions within two of the firms I worked with, and then later opened my own, bought a lot of consumer, high volume, low balance, bad debt, and operated capital management for a number of years. Left that. I ran a long haul trucking company for 4 years, strangely enough, out of Nashville. And back in 2020, late 2021, early 22, Chris reached out to me with the concept of DebtLink, and you'll see a little bit more of the story on the 5-minute pitch, but really his comments to me resonated. The other part of me that a lot of my friends know, not everybody knows, is I am a professional Santa. So at Christmas time, I know Adam, you have some pictures of that, but I come from a long line of Santa. My dad was a very well-known professional Santa. Anybody who saw the first Coca-Cola commercial that featured the polar bears was in 1993. And when the polar bear fell in the snowbank and a Santa handed Coke to the bear, that was my dad in that photograph, in that commercial. So he was the Coke Santa. He did a lot of other stuff. He worked for Oreo cookie commercial, the Christmas episode of The Blossom Show, for those that remember that, and a bunch of other things. So he was a very well-known. He started out, I have some black and whites of him doing Santa for Make-A-Wish Foundation with Bob Hope and Phyllis Diller. So he passed in 07. He left me his Santa suit, and I picked up the mantle there. And so I would do a number. This beard will continue to grow. And then early November, everything gets bleached white. I wasn't blessed with his premature blonde, gray hair. And so I bleach it all white, and I work as Santa for November and December. And then on Christmas Eve, after my grandkids leave and they think I have to go to work and they all go to bed, I go in and shave, and my wife gets a younger husband for Christmas morning. So
what a great story, Chris. I love that.
And I was born on Christmas Day. That's why everybody comes over on Christmas Eve to celebrate my birthday. And then I go down. We give all the grandkids a gift on Christmas Eve, new pajamas, so they look really sharp in their pictures. And so I walk down while they're changing into their pajamas. I suit up. And then when I come down, we take some pictures, and I say, okay, I got to go to work. You guys got to get home.
Oh,
and the magic begins.
I love it. What a great story, Chris. I mean, it takes a special person to not only pick up that mantle and carry it forward, but to truly embody that character, right? Like to truly embody everything that is Santa Claus, everything that is Christmas. What a cool story. We'll definitely put some pictures up here so everyone can get a feel for kind of what Chris looks like when he's all suited up and ready to go, because I think this is just such a cool opportunity. And so with such a storied career across the industry and having the opportunity to work for so many great different organizations, because you listed a whole bunch of really pivotal organizations throughout the history of the receivables management space. But now you're with DebtLink, and I know that you have a passion for bringing people together. So talk to us a little bit about what it is that you're doing over at DebtLink and why it is that you're so passionate about it.
It's amazing. So I'll reference the 5-minute pitch. And again, Adam, I appreciate you guys did a great job helping us get that together. But really my experience was, I know that most of the outside our bubble, we have our bubble within this industry. The ones that have been around, the ones that go to trade shows that are engaged, and we see each other at all the different shows, and it's great. But there's thousands and thousands of businesses and people outside our bubble that have no idea how our industry works and how to find them. I referenced previously in the pitch where I work for ARM Solutions. The company started with the letter A. People would call all the time or email requests for information. They knew nothing about us other than where we landed in the alpha list. And so to just do what we do, qualify them, and to find out 9 out of 10 times they had no idea how we work. So that was my initial knowing that there's got to be a better way. And so when Chris called and said, hey, I got this idea, we went all full-fledged. Some of the things that we do that I get real excited about, I'm trying to solve a number of problems. One is give a place that everybody, both inside the industry and out, can go and find everything to do with our industry. I'm not so much interested in content. There are some phenomenal content providers and that sort of thing. That I want to be the Match.com of this industry. I want people that are trying to find a collection agency, or they don't know how to find a skip tracing. So many companies, while I was on the agency side, would ask me who should they go to for skip tracing. They have no idea how the big names are, who they are, and what they do, and how agencies use them, how they could use them. Communication, outreach by text or SMS, finding those solutions, payment processing. There's not a million. There's lots of.
There's quite a few different ways to bring tech into this business, right? Or to bring a service here.
Yeah. A lot of service providers out there that to find a company that's coming in. And so, number one, I'm trying to bring people together. A large part of what I do within this world is I'm doing outreach to that, what we call, you'll hear me use the phrase creditor or user world. Those are all the companies that can go to DebtLink.com for free. They don't have to register. They don't have to put anything in. They can go and they search around. According to our Google Analytics, when people come to DebtLink, they're looking at an average of 5 pages, which is pretty good.
That's solid.
But the number that really is exciting to me is there's some marketing people out there, and Adam, I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but if you ask a marketing person, how long do most people stay on a web page? I think you're going to hear between 10 and 20 seconds. 15 seconds is sort of the average that most people say that's the average. When people come to DebtLink, they're going to 5 pages and they're sitting on average. This is according to our Google Analytics, 1 minute and 39 seconds.
That's significant.
That's a significant number. So what are they doing there? Well, they're getting information. And so one of them is, how do we provide a place where somebody can go and do their research, go to other and see, I'm initially looking for this, but wow, let me find that. Or intercompany, some people have called it a 24-hour a day, 365 trade show booth. And I joke about, minus anybody who worked a trade show, minus the awkward avoidance of eye contact.
Yeah.
People can walk down the proverbial digital aisle and look at these companies and do their research and really find partners. And that's what's really exciting to me that we're doing. And then we've created some things on the site just to solve problems that used to drive me crazy as a senior VP. I hated budget. When I had to plan and budget for the next coming season of trade shows and so forth, putting together the spreadsheet, going to the 20 different websites, it was a pain in the bottom. And so we have an events tab you can go to, and all the industry events are there in chronological order. You can read the overview and click on it, and it takes it right to their website where you can do whatever you need to do. And it makes life simpler. And then for agencies, different service providers, for members, we have an area called RFPs. And again, solving a problem that drove me crazy. I used to subscribe to services when I was a senior, and my sales guys would do it once or twice, never go back, because they didn't want to sift through the non-relevant stuff. So we solved that problem. Last year we posted over 120 RFPs that are industry specific. So either collection opportunities, payment processor, print vending, skip tracing, or collection software. All those are types of RFPs that were posted on the site last year that, again, it's just a resource. And then lastly, we have a jobs tab that allows our members to post jobs, which has been really effective, allowing other industry members to go check them out incognito, which is always a plus. So there's a lot of neat things on the site for insiders, so that's what's important. And the other part that I think I want to hit on is how we address the Yelp effect.
Yes. That's been one of my favorite things as I became a member of DebtLink, is the idea of the reviews being baked into the platform itself, because you can't go to Google because you're just going to see a whole bunch of unnecessary or frivolous consumer complaints. And so this becomes like a B2B option for reviewing this information, which I think is really important.
Yeah, think about how we used to sell, back in my day. Back in my day, I would pound the phones and send emails to try to get you on the phone so I could give you 2 to 3 minutes to convince you to let me come out and present to you in person. And I wouldn't go to Brazil, but let's say you're in Florida. The minute I hung up with you, I would then find every other prospect I had in that area and try to book 3 or 4 appointments. And next week I'd jump on a plane and fly to you and present. And that was our old sales. Things have changed now, and now everything's done virtually. But what hasn't changed is we are still pounding the phone, sending email, doing whatever we have to do to engage. The problem is nobody is engaging until they research first. It's like when you go to a restaurant. You guys are trying to decide where to go. What do? You're going to go to some website. You'll do a Google search, get a list, eventually get over to Yelp, but you're looking for reviews. You want to read, and if you read a review on the restaurant site, it has some weight. But if you read the review on a third party, it holds a whole nother level of value.
Agreed.
And so you'll go through those, I call the Yelp effect. You'll read those Yelp reviews, find the one, and go there. That's what's happening. That has how the selling and buying has changed in our industry over the last few years, is that has really come in. So we still do what we used to do, send emails, make phone, do what we have to do. But make no mistake, they are doing their behind-the-scenes research and trying to read reviews. DebtLink is right now the only one that you can go to read those third-party reviews. And what we're hearing from our existing subscribers is that is turbocharging their engagements. So that's an exciting thing to me. When we first started, we called it, it's a modern day Yellow Pages. And I'd joke with the younger people, do you know what a Yellow Page is? Let me explain how it is. And then it kind of shifted to not a digital directory, it's that. And then it was a 24/365 trade show booth. We've used the phrase, you're Match.com for AR management. And so it continues to morph a little bit, but the bottom line is, if you're a provider, if you're a small or medium provider, how do you compete? If you're an agency, people are looking, and if you're a big guy, you don't want to deal with a mom and pop. You want the big guy. So for somebody that can come here and search and say, I'm looking for an agency that handles this type of paper in high volume, they can find you. If you go in, I use this as an example when I demo all the time, an odd combination that if you're in the industry. So I'll go, I'm looking for a commercial firm that does out-of-stat, that does low volume, and we go from 85 agencies down to 2. So that buyer can go to those 2 agencies and know that they're going to get. And the other thing that we do, I'm sorry, I get excited and I ramble.
That's okay.
Is we try to solve the problem of ease of sale. The shoppers, a frustrating thing is you can find a firm, but then finding who to talk to actually get information to buy is way more complicated than it needs to be in most cases.
Especially in receivables, because we're all trying to put up a wall so that we're not bombarded with unnecessary communications, right? You're trying to avoid the spam, but still at the same time make yourself accessible. And it's not always easy.
All right. So finding a salesperson is hard. So somebody can go to DebtLink, click connect. Well, first of all, they can either get a phone number and go directly, but they can hit get connect, and that's going to send a private email. It's not blasted. It's not. Angie's List is a great business. But if you've ever done it, you usually only do it once because you get hammered with your stuff gets spewed and that's exactly what you didn't want. DebtLink, it's a private communication. So you can click get connected. It will send a private message to that company and a sales resource will get back to you. That's huge for a buyer, somebody who's shopping that doesn't have to navigate and explain.
It's exactly the same reason that we came up with the 5-minute pitch video series, right? Because busy executives don't want to sit through 20-hour-long, they don't have time to sit through 20-hour-long demos and then get 100,000 follow-up emails from sales associates. So you're providing people with an opportunity to get that first layer of research done so they don't have to reach out to 20 companies. They can reach out to 3 companies that meet the needs of their organization and they can focus on that. And I think that seems an incredible amount of time. And I think you guys have taken, what we looked at as an option of 5-minute pitch and taken it to a totally different level by tying in the reviews, tying in the direct communications, where you tied in a lot of these additional features and functions that make it usable for someone like me who is constantly trying to avoid the spam. I spend a significant amount of my time just trying to put up the walls and manage the unnecessary spam. I hate when my phone sounds like a pinball machine, unless it's actual friends, customers, clients that are reaching out, right? It's not about, and especially being in the digital marketing space, right? Even though I'm in receivables management, the world sees this as digital marketing. And you can't believe, you think you guys get a lot of come fix your SEO emails. I probably get 200 to 300 of those a day. And so finding ways to trim down the ridiculousness, focus on where there's real value I think that there's a significant value to this. And I think that's why you guys have gotten such great traction over the last, call it 2 years, since you started putting your idea together and then actually executing on it and finding that traction, because that's never easy, right? A great idea is only that. It's a great idea. Being able to take that great idea and turn it into execution is a whole other ballgame.
Well, as we've done this, and you've brought up a great point. I have friends that have joked with myself and Chris about how'd you 2 dingbats come up with this? Because this is phenomenal. This is not brain surgery. And everybody we've spoken to that's been in the industry has said, oh my gosh, this is something we've needed. How did you 2 come up with it? And, the reality that I have learned, and, this a large part of a roundtable is getting to know people.
Sure.
So I'm the glass half full, sometimes referred to, I'm sure affectionately, as a Pollyanna. My partner is the pragmatist. So my perspective when we started this was, oh my gosh, as soon as somebody sees this is a no-brainer, it's so inexpensive. This is going to be, they're going to be diving on this. Well, I'm sure the Yellow Page salesperson thought the same thing and then had to go out and beat the street.
Yeah.
So Chris was more pragmatic than I was, but so it was, what we have found is that this has been a challenge. We really wanted to do it right. We wanted to do it professionally. We wanted to be pure. And so we took time at the beginning to really set up a program and a site that was pleasing, wasn't overwhelmingly complicated. We wanted to keep it simple, stupid, was really our direction. But it's what we found also is that it's a lot harder than meets the eye. Looks simple, but it's much more difficult. And others, we talked to a number of companies who said, something, we thought of that, we tried it, we just couldn't get it done.
I was going to say, there's been quite a few companies that have tried to do this through the years, and they just never got the traction. But I think you guys have a different layer of relationships with the industry and the individuals, right? Between you and the positions that you've held throughout your career, Chris Runcie, and all of the relationships and transactions. And it's been, as a reformed broker myself, right? As a reformed debt broker, I see the level of relationships that I've been able to develop with those people through the years that I've done transactions, especially good transactions, when you're really focused on doing what's right by both parties in a transaction. I think that's exactly who Chris Rumsey is as well, right? And that when you bring the two of you together, it feels like you guys hit the right time and the right place to create the perfect storm of opportunity and to actually get the you didn't just spin the tires, you guys got traction quickly. And, we talked at the very beginning, and after we talked again at RMAI this year, I went in, I reviewed everything, I really got a feel for where you guys were going, and I'm a believer.
Yeah, we do a couple things. Number one, we want do what's right, do the best you can do, and treat others the way you'd like to be treated. And that's our goal. That's our role. That's our house rules. Chris has a reputation in the industry that is unbelievable. He is
agreed.
Everybody who knows the debt buying side, he's the honest broker, and that's not hyperbole. He is the guy you can go to who's going to shoot you straight. In a land that's not always the case, and that's really always been mine. So that's been a key part. And the other part is, this is our thing. We burnt the ships, as they say. So this isn't an offshoot of something else. And that's what we found in the other people that tried to do it. They had other core competencies. That was another core focus, and they tried to do this as an add-on. And you can't do it as an add-on. And so from my view, this is what I do. I burnt the ships in terms of no going back. We're doing DebtLink, and I think that has had a large impact on our growth. The first 6 months was very difficult. Subscribers didn't want to come on because they only wanted to come on if people were coming to the site. But we didn't want to drive people to the site until we had a rich enough experience. And so you had a chicken or the egg. And so I'm very thankful for some of our early adopters, friends of mine that came in 30 years ago when I did, where I could call and basically beg, help me out. I promise it won't be a waste. And we're well beyond that. We've had our over 96.7% renewal rate, re-up rate for those that subscribed, have come back on and stayed on. So it's really, it's going extremely well. And I know, preaching to you, things like we took our site traffic, it has grown exponentially every month, because the more new members we bring on board and we market those, we do our work to market and to create traffic for them. That helps everybody.
Yeah.
So as we're sending emails, we're doing LinkedIn, we're doing all these marketing things behind the scenes. That's mostly what I'm doing to drive site. It just continues to grow on each other. So I'm pumped about it. Well, you can tell. I'm pumped about it.
Chris, I absolutely love your passion. I think that you guys are doing something that's really great and well needed across the industry. I want to thank you for coming on and having another chat with me. I know we just did the 5-minute pitch. We'll put the link to our 5-minute pitch video below so that you can hear a little bit more about DebtLink and specifically why you want to be a subscriber, of that website. But thank you so much for coming on and having a chat with me. I really appreciate your expertise, and I definitely value your friendship.
Thanks, Adam. I've said this before, and you know that. I appreciate what you're doing very much. You have a set of skills that I do not own, and I appreciate them very much. So thank you for all you've done for us. And the stuff you've done in the industry has not gone unnoticed. You've done some really cool things, and so I know that's seems a bit self-serving, and you didn't prompt me to say that, but I see what you've done, and I think I love what you're doing. So I appreciate it very much. Thanks for this opportunity.
I appreciate you. I really do try to create great content for a great industry. I believe in this industry. I believe in the importance of debt collection within the credit ecosystem. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun finding new and interesting ways for us to continue to work together. For those of you that are watching, if you have additional questions you'd like to ask Chris and myself, you can leave those in the comments on LinkedIn and YouTube, and we'll be responding to those directly. If you have additional topics you'd like to see us discuss, you can leave those in the comments below as well. And I'm hoping that I can get Chris to come back at least one more time to help me continue to create great content for a great industry. But until next time, everyone.
Maybe December.
Yes, booked. I'm in 100%. We are doing a December episode. Chris, great idea. But for everybody else that's watching, I'm going to sign off here from Campo Grande, Brazil, and I hope to see y'all at CRS in the near future. Thanks so much, everybody.